Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Daryl, Amy, and Larry Levine here with the Selling from the Heart. What's going on, Larry?
It just seems like we got all kinds of things going on, Daryl. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'll tell you why we're here today. It is such a fun time right now. And I just welcome to everybody who's listening in live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. It's you join, give a shout out. Any questions that you have, let us know. We're here today to talk about the 2021 Selling from the Heart Trust Building Challenge and the follow on to that, which is the Trust Building Intensive. Larry, this is a time, we said this during the challenge, and I believe it more now than ever, that the X factor in sales, the biggest issue we face is building trust with prospects and buyers.
Absolutely, and we'll layer on top of that even credibility. But what I really love about the challenge and then the intensive is every time that we get together and start casting vision, something really terrific comes out of this. And I'm telling y'all, you're in for something with the intensive. Daryl and I are putting together something that I think is going to be the accelerant moving forward as you roll into 2022.
Well, and that's what's so much fun about this is the 2021 Trust Building Intensive came out of that conversation where we were hanging out. We were actually working with our good friend and business coach, Dave Sanderson. And we were talking the day after about what are the real issues that we're facing in sales right now. And the thing that kept bubbling to the surface was trust. So we looked at this and said, you know what? Here's the deal. When it comes to what we're going to do to grow as sales professionals in this season, we've got some options, right? We can learn more traditional selling skills, and nothing against traditional selling skills. We need to know how to prospect, handle objections. We need to know how to close and all of that. That's important. We could recommend that people double down on product knowledge. And while I think you need to know product knowledge, we all know that just being able to spew facts, figures, stats, data, and all of that is not enough. So, looking at where is the place where you can invest your time and energy in growth right now that's going to pay the biggest dividends. And I really believe it's not so much in sales skills or product knowledge. Those are both great. And I hope you have a cadence to develop those in your sales life. But the missing link in the X factor in a lot of this is trust with our prospects, trust with our clients.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we're a big believer here at Selling from the Heart that the key to your growth, the key to new business growth comes directly through how well you build trusting relationships with your clients.
Yeah, it is so critical right now. And this is where, we're so excited about this because what we want to be able to do is in the 2021 Trust Challenge, we highlighted this formula, and I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. Here's the formula. Trust equals authentic relationships plus meaningful value times inspirational experience and disciplined habits. So the two sides of the trust coin, which are so critical, are authentic relationship and meaningful value. We've got to be able to get, as we were talking, we just recorded a podcast with our good friend Adrian Chenault of Contact Mapping, and he said exactly what I agree with, which is you've got to be able to align your head and your heart. And we've got to be able to come to the table with authentic relationships and meaningful value. It's great to say that, but
Sure.
how do you get that done? How do you get that done in the context of the world you live in as a sales professional? And that's exactly what we're going to be aiming at with the Trust Building Intensive here is coaching all of the participants in learning from each other inside the community about how to build that network. As you say, if you want a full sales pipeline, you need a full relationship pipeline. How do you build that network of authentic relationships? And in the middle of all of that, how do you communicate meaningful value? This is what we're going to really work through in the intensive, in the Trust Building Intensive coming up. And by the way, if you want to learn more, it's rolling across the bottom. It's intensive.2021trustchallenge.com. where you can find information and get engaged. We're actually going to be kicking this off next week, next Thursday. I'm so excited about getting this whole thing kicked off. And the cohort, we've got a few slots left inside the group. And I'm just looking for the exact date. Next Thursday is October or November. November. Let's get in the right month.
I sure hope it's not October, Daryl.
No, it's November. Or we're a month late. And November 11th, we're going to be kicking this off. And so I'm excited about getting the trust building intensive going. But Larry, it's about the skills we need to develop and sustain authentic relationships and to be able to communicate authentic value.
Yeah, and I just think this is a mission critical time for a lot of people in sales, and let's just face it, it's been a challenging time, and how do you build these trusting relationships in many different fashions? And I just had flashes, Daryl, of the podcast that we had with Charlie Green. And Charlie Green talked to us about trust, and he's been one of the foremost experts around trust. And he said, year after year, decade after decade, the sales world has been one of the least trusted professions out there. And that's sad, because if we don't sell anything, money doesn't move through the economy at the rate that it does. But here's what's interesting to note is at the top of the charts, year after year, decade over decade, nurses have ranked in the top slot for being some of the most trusted people out there. And Charlie Green went on to say this is because they lead with their heart and they lead with empathy. Salespeople out there, this is what we're going to learn a lot in the intensive, is we're going to learn how to bring this all together and take massive action on it, Daryl.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited because not only are we going to be working on how to develop authentic relationships, how to communicate value that's meaningful to your buyers. And by the way, I just got to pause here because I'm so excited because all of the participants in the program, they're going to be tools for each one of these. So there'll be a relationship map. So we're able to develop and score our relationships inside our prospects, our target accounts in particular, and our best clients. It's really going to be an eye opener. I know when you coach salespeople through this process in your coaching practice, Larry, it's an eye opener when you look at the relational map and the gaps in that. The good news is when you start taking action on that, that relational map tool is that in itself is a real game changer for a lot of reps to be able to fill in the gaps and to look at where the weak points are in your target accounts, and more importantly, your largest current accounts. But also we're going to have a tool inside the intensive. All of the participants are going to build out their value tool as well, their value map, which is a map of what your clients are telling you they want to buy, what your current best clients are telling you about their business. This provides, as Tony Robbins says, success leaves clues. Well, I say that your best clients leave clues as well in terms of how to sell your other clients. So we're going to create a value map inside this as well that is going to be extremely helpful in making sure that when you do communicate it, that it's very relevant. But what I'm excited about, and by the way, if you're just joining, welcome. We're here talking about the 2021 Trust Building Intensive. Feel free to give a shout out in the comments. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube simultaneously, thanks to the power of technology. But this is exciting because not only are we going to be looking at authentic relationships and how we can develop meaningful value, but we're going to also build a plan. Everyone in the intensive is going to build a plan around the 2 multipliers. And the multiplier number 1 is an inspirational experience. And, I think one of the things I've become more and more convinced of, both from our conversations inside Selling from the Heart and from reading that I've been doing in just the business world in general, is that one of the best and most overlooked ways to differentiate ourselves is with the experience we create. And if you want to have higher close rates, if you want to get through more doors at the beginning of the process, and you want to maintain and grow your relationships with your clients, The low hanging fruit is in an area that most people overlook, and that's how to create an inspirational experience.
Yeah, and Daryl, the experiences don't stop at that point of sale.
Mm-mm.
And I think this is, unfortunately, this is where a lot of the sales world misses a golden opportunity, is the experiences that you bring post sale, that you continue to bring post sale, month over month and year over year after that. That's the fuel. That's the fuel to help develop that relationship funnel. Why? Because people that they know other people, and we miss these golden opportunities. This is going to be one multiplier that is just going to take the authentic relationships and the meaningful value, and we're going to multiply that. I'm going to say by 10, Daryl, on this, because it's the inspirational experiences you bring on an ongoing basis to keep this going. It's not only outstanding experience, but it's that inspirational, and I'll even say it's that heartfelt experience that you bring
Mhm.
every single day to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the multiplier, and this is, the experience we create, the feelings, the emotion, the memorable experiences that we create throughout the sales process and throughout the life cycle of a client working with us. This is where we have an incredible opportunity to differentiate and create and just create separation between us and the other people out there who aren't doing that. And once again, we don't want to just talk about this. We want to make sure this turns into action. So we're going to build, everyone in the intensive is going to build their own client experience map, and it's actually going to be a vision and with specific actions at different points along the way that you're going to enhance the experience you provide to your clients. And what's going to be fun about the cohort as we work together on all of this, and it's going to be a tight group, about a dozen sales professionals. Inside that cohort, we're going to be bouncing ideas back and forth. So what I love about this is this intensive is not just it's not just a data dump. It's not death by YouTube. We'll have a live session every week, but in between, what's going to happen is we're going to be in a private community where we can be encouraging each other, challenging each other, sharing best practices. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of inspirational experiences everyone comes up with. I already know who's enrolled in the intensive, and I have a good feeling that we're going to have some really interesting stories to tell on the back of this. But this inspirational experience is the multiplier. And then the last multiplier is one we're all familiar with, but one that it's like they say, the old is forever new, right? Disciplined habits. I hope that everyone listening in has disciplined habits when it comes to things like prospecting. If you don't have disciplined habits with prospecting, guess what? You've got an empty sales funnel. However, what about the disciplined habits around building trust, around creating that relationship funnel with authentic relationships, the disciplined habits of talking with your current client base about the value that's meaningful to them, the disciplined habit of creating and delivering inspirational experience. This is where I'm really excited is we're going to be taking disciplined habits and turning it into something that's actionable, so that you go beyond just the habit of prospecting, but are integrating these habits in such a way that you're actually going to be able to deliver on all of this and see the fruit of growing trust with your clients. And I'm so excited about that, Larry.
Yeah, and a special tip of the cap to Dave Sanderson on this, especially
Mhm.
around the discipline habits, because Daryl, he's been coaching us now for quite some time, and we're a big believer. This is called an intensive for a reason, and I don't want people to shy away from intensive and right and so forth. It's going to be a fun intensive,
Mhm.
but Dave Sanderson's always talking about nothing happens unless you all take massive action.
That's
That's
right.
the disciplined habits portion of this. And this is going to be fun taking action. I will tell you that. This will be fun. It will be inspirational, but you're right. It is going to be intensive.
Well, and to help with disciplined habits, one of the things that we're including in this that I'm so excited about is the authentic action planning system. We rolled this out in our last intensive, and this is a literal sales planning system. This is a bonus but I think you're really going to appreciate this. Our friend Jack Hubbard said it, I think, so well. Authenticity cannot exist without action, and trust building requires action. So, as a part of this program, you're going to get access to tools and training on a whole quarterly planning system where you create your quarterly vision, values, your weekly planning strategy, and your daily action, all with a flexible paper based, authentic selling planner. Why paper?
I love
Because
it. I
guess
love
what?
it. And hey, everyone,
Old
and
school.
and Daryl's the most technologically
There it
sound
is.
person I know, and it's
Good.
paper based. This is exciting.
But it's paper based because we live in this digital world, right? We live in this. I got my calendar right by my side all the time. We live in this digital world with calendars where, I just forget what's on my calendar sometimes. So having a cadence where I get intentional about planning my week in advance, and then also at the beginning of the day, spending a few minutes just writing out what I want to accomplish that day, and some common helpful things that we all know from positive psychology around gratitude, and around vision and values and reconnecting with all of that. So I'm really excited that the authentic action planning system for salespeople is going to be part of the intensive, and all of this. So here's what we're going to do with the intensive is we're going to look at trust has to be applied, trust needs to be applied to every phase of the sales process, right? So if you think about the three phases of any sales relationship, you've got prospecting, you've got the selling phase, the pipeline phase, you could call it, and you've got client management. All three of those are really, really critical. And we need trust with our clients. We need to build trust during prospecting. And for most of us who are in selling situations with multiple decision makers and influencers, we need trust during the sales process. We need to build it with those multiple decision makers. And we need to be able to get speed to heart, Larry, as you like to say. So this is why the authentic selling intensive is going to be done in 3 chunks. We're going to do this in 3 12-week chunks. The first is going to be authentic client management. I'll come back to that in a second. The second is going to be authentic prospecting, and we're going to discover how to integrate trust into prospecting in new ways that are going to open up doors that previously were closed to you. And then we'll move to authentic selling. And this is looking at strategies to build trust inside buying teams so that you can move deals through the pipeline quicker. But all of this, so this is going to be organized in 3 12-week intensives. So the first phase of the intensive is going to kick off on November 11th. And we're going to begin this first 12-week sprint with authentic prospecting. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you why we're starting there, Larry. But for everyone listening in, the intensive is
No,
going to
it's
begin.
actually authentic client management.
Sorry, authentic client management. I'm going to ask why we're beginning there. I see, because you'd think we begin with prospecting. But before we answer that question, I just want to welcome everyone who's joined. We're talking about the trust building intensive. The first 12-week session is kicking off on November 11th. And when you look at authentic prospecting, authentic selling, and authentic client management, I think normally, you start with authentic prospecting. But Larry, we chose the first section of this that we're going to tackle together is authentic client management. Why are we starting there?
Well, for several reasons, but I'm a big believer that the key to your growth, and we all want new business.
Mhm.
Everybody wants new business. Sales leaders, salespeople, they all want new business. But we're a firm believer that it should not come at sacrificing your current clients. Therefore, new business growth in 2022 is going to come directly through how well you maintain, grow, and nurture your client relationships and how well you develop their networks. And Daryl, that's why we're starting with authentic client management.
Yeah, and it says right here, we begin with authentic client management because your current clients are the network from which you can prospect. And they're also the source for understanding meaningful value. So we begin with authentic client management because as we shore up those relationships inside our client base, and we're going to map our relationship network inside our key clients, we're going to begin our value map by having them tell us what's going on in their business, what challenges they're facing, what they're concerned about. That value map is going to be the springboard then for prospecting. And here's the deal about prospecting. The best prospects are the ones that are referred from our current clients. Let's just face that. The second best prospects are ones where we can connect with them in a meaningful way, and connect in such a way that we're having a conversation about what's important to them. So authentic prospecting is going to happen out of authentic client management. And this is kind of turning conventional sales training wisdom on its head. But here's what we've discovered in a market where trust is a hard thing to get. The best way to build trust is to begin by working with your current client base and building out from there.
Yeah, and there's that age-old saying, Daryl, that birds of a feather flock together.
That's right.
Let's just stop and think about that for a moment. Birds of a feather flock together. Your current clients, the people that you know, like, and trust, they know other people just like them that they
That's
hang
right.
out with.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So we're going to start with authentic prospecting, and this kicks off on November 11th. We'll have a cohort of about 12 reps. There are some spots left, but I have a sneaking suspicion that this is something that's going to book out. We'll see. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. We want to keep this group tight so we can work together. And here's how it's going to work, by the way. You may be saying, Daryl, how does this work? Well, here's how it works. We know you're busy. So there's no secret. High performance sales professionals are busy. Our calendars are full. By the way, part of the reason we wanted to give you the authentic sales planning system is so that you can become more efficient and more effective in what you do. But we'll have one live session every week. It's a live learning and coaching session. And what's going to happen in this live session is not death by PowerPoint. You'll receive tools, and we're going to work together through the application of those tools so that we can develop authentic relationships, meaningful value, inspirational experience, and disciplined habits inside our client management cadence. So those weekly sessions are a lot of fun. You're going to get to know new people outside your industry, maybe outside of who you would normally hang out with. And that in and of itself is going to be a good springboard into Larry, the private mastermind community.
It's going to be community inside a community, Daryl. I love this stuff because we're doing this with the Selling from the Heart Insiders group, and it's built a tight-knit group of individuals who are waving the flag around authenticity and selling from the heart. Same kind of concept's going to apply inside this private community. We're going to work together through things. We're going to inspire each other. We're going to educate each other. We're going to share successes, and it's all going to be community within community, Daryl.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the cool things is in between sessions, we actually have a private network, which you can access from your desktop or most conveniently through a mobile device. And what that means is as this cohort is going through and not just learning stuff, but actually applying it, we'll be able to encourage each other, share success stories, ask questions, get feedback, all of these things which are so important. And so I think a lot of times we go to sales training, and there's some training, we get some good ideas, we come home, we put the book, the binder or on the shelf or the slide deck somewhere in our hard drive. But what we're working to accomplish here is not really training. Yes, you're going to learn something, but what we actually want to do is we're here to implement this. Like the goal is with the trust building challenge that every week you're implementing something new. And by the end of the first 12 weeks, you're going to have incredible, massive momentum built up. And if you continue through the entire journey of all 3 12-week sessions, which will bring us well into next year, the momentum you have by putting all this into action every week is going to be unstoppable. So exciting. So we got the mastermind community in addition to the weekly sessions. But wait, there's more. Daily motivation. That's so
Wait,
funny. Is this an
wait.
infomercial? Is
Is this
so
2 o'clock?
funny.
Hey, Daryl, is this 2 o'clock in the morning and I woke up because I can't sleep
That's
anymore?
right. Hey, if you wake up at 2 in the morning and you're watching me and Larry, just go read a book or do something. Go back to sleep. Hopefully, this isn't what you use to sleep. Um, on top of that, we're going to keep you focused with action items and encouragement throughout the week, and this is all geared at helping each other build, develop, sustain, nurture, whatever adjective you want to put there, trust, because trust is so critical right now. And, Larry, all of this, I can't wait to get started. We're going to get started next Thursday, November 11th. All of this is so relevant. And I'm just thinking about one of the things that we quoted over and over again in the selling, in the selling from the heart 2021 authentic trust building challenge. Wait, get all the words there, right?
Get it right, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Hey, this is live television, so there's no editing here. But we quoted Stephen M.R. Covey several times through that challenge, and his book, The Speed of Trust, says it so well. Nothing is as fast as the speed of trust. Nothing is as fast as the speed of trust. And so if you are frustrated, maybe you're at a plateau in your sales career and you say, I'm struggling to break through to the next level. Well, have you tried trust? And I mean that seriously. If you're stuck at a plateau in your sales career and you want to break through to the next level, what could it look like if you intentionally integrated trust building activities and strategies into every aspect of your sales process? I know the answer to it. And the answer is trust. Business happens faster when there's trust. When there's no trust, things are slow. There's lots of approvals. It's frustrating. But when there's trust, things move a lot faster. And that's why we want you to join us for the trust building intensive, because we know that when you take action to nurture and grow trust, you're going to sell more and you're going to be more fulfilled along the way.
Yeah, and this is so great. I'm so looking forward to this. And as we bring our time together to close, there's one thing I just really want to focus in on is I'm just a firm believer that perception is reality.
Mm-hmm.
Perception is reality. Now let's look at this through the minds of buyers. Let's look at this through the minds of your clients. And then how does this play out with trust? Well, just this thing about we've talked about it throughout our time together. Trust is so low right now because perception is reality.
Yep.
People have perception of the sales world, and rightfully so. You want to speed up, right? Get speed to heart. Learn how to bring trust and credibility to the forefront. That's what we're going to learn during our time together, Daryl.
That's so fantastic. Well, I hope you'll join us. I hope you'll join us for the intensive. This is going to be an incredible opportunity. As I said, there are a few spots left. We're going to keep this group tight because we want to work together really, really well and make sure this stuff gets implemented. So go to 2021, go to intensive.2021trustchallenge.com. It's rolling across the bottom of the screen. We'll put the link in the social networks as well below. And make sure you get your seat. We're going to be kicking this off next Thursday. If you have any questions, feel free to private message either Larry or myself. And we will see you at the Trust Building Intensive. Larry, I can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Let's get this thing going.
Awesome, man. See you there.